So if you're running an agency or even starting a software company, you need to learn how to set up a sales process. So in this video, we're gonna be running through how to build a really simple sales process that's easy to execute. Let's get into it. So to start off, we're gonna be using LeadLoft. You can use other tools, but I really think using an all-in-one tool is really simple. If you need something more complicated, more reporting features in the future, you can always switch to something like HubSpot. But to start, I always recommend going with something that's easy to execute and result-oriented, meaning you can generate leads and actually run outreach with it. So to hop into it, I always recommend starting with your pipeline. I'll go to settings here, go to pipeline segments, and we can scroll down here. I'll even zoom in a little bit to make it easier. So within this pipeline, you can see we have new, responded, interested, proposal sent, customer, and not ready yet. And something to keep in mind is I generally recommend making all of these different stages something that can happen or has happened in the past. If you make it something that's present or a little less tangible, it's difficult for your team to know what they need to do. In this case, it's if somebody's responded, you can automatically update it to responded, or if they're interested after you spoke to them, you can update it to interested, or if you sent them a proposal, right, you can update it to sent proposal. So I always recommend making these something that's happened in the past, like a definitive action, like they're interested, proposal sent, etc. I've seen some people have proposal pending, things like that. I want to do that. I would say proposal sent. So just a quick tip to keep in mind. So once we have this, what's really cool within LeadLoft is I can actually go over and say, hey, responded, and we'll say, hey, days until marked follow-up. So if there's no communication for a period of time, you can actually mark it as follow-up. And you can do this stage by stage. So for different stages, you can say, hey, set the status to follow-up after a period of days. So generally, I recommend setting it to 10 or 7 or something like that. And in most cases, if there's a really urgent follow-up you need to hit, you can create a manual task. But this makes it really easy for you to stay on top of things. And just to give you an example of how that follow-up works, if I hop over here and I click follow-up, it's going to show me everybody I need to follow up with. So you can see already how easy it is to track deals within LeadLoft or in general track deals in the sales process, right? So once you hop in here and you set up your pipeline, the next thing to do is build out some saved quick views. And essentially your sales process will operate off these quick views. So to start with the quick view side of things, I would go over and I'd probably click status. I'd say task due follow up. There we go. And also say the owner is me. And when you select me as opposed to a specific user, what that means is it's applicable to your entire team. So if you have other users in your team, when they view this quick view, they'll actually view different leads because they'll be me, meaning them. So when they're viewing it, it's me, them. And when I'm viewing it, it's me, myself, right? So it's really cool because you can filter for me, then save this, and then your entire team can use it. You can name it, follow up. There you go. Click save. And now whenever your team hops in there, they can click follow up and see everybody they need to follow up with. And then the last thing with all of this is I recommend making sure you're segmenting out your new leads. So if you have valuable leads, you should be importing them and adding UTMs or segments, etc. So a segment you might have is something like website leads, right? So we'd say new segment, we'll say website lead. There we go, create it. And now we can create a segment for, we'll say status is new, segment is website leads. You can also say the owner is me as well, right? There we go. Save this a quick view and we'll say new website leads. There we go. New website leads. And now when you hop into your CRM, and I'm going to delete one of these follow-ups just because there's duplicates here, right? Delete. Now when you hop into your CRM, there's really a few things you have to do. One, you can go view all your new leads in your CRM. And if you want, you can automatically engage these. And I can show you how in a different video. The other option is to hop in and just click follow up. Generally, what I recommend every single day is to hop into LeadLoft, click follow up, see who you need to follow up with, and also hop into your inbox and respond to any messages you need to respond to. If you don't need to respond to them, say, okay, no problem. Archive it, move on. So it's really simple. Again, you hop in, go to follow up, see who you need to follow up with, and you can either go one by one with them or you can bulk engage them. In sales, sometimes it's difficult to keep track of who you need to follow up with and will fall behind. In cases like that, you should go one by one, especially if you have high ticket sales. But if you have kind of lower volume sales or you're taking over after somebody has left and you have a new team member or something like that, it's okay to also bulk engage. So something we like to do, especially at the top of the new year, is we might build out a playbook. We might create something like a deal follow-up playbook, right? We'll include LinkedIn, email. We always recommend Bounce Shield to verify those emails up front. And then from there, you can go to your follow-up view. And maybe you'd say, hey, no activity for 90 days. People you haven't talked to for a long time. You say, okay, hey, these are way overdue. I fell behind. I missed some things. I'm just going to go ahead and bulk engage them. Add them to that deal follow-up playbook. Click and roll. now you're going to start automatically engaging them, checking back, trying to start that conversation again. So just to recap one last time to really make sure it's clear for all of you, you can hop into LeadLoft. And what I recommend doing is go to your inbox, respond to all the messages you need to respond to. The next thing there is go to follow up and see all those past deals you need to follow up with, right? Go one by one, or if you really want to, you can add an activity filter, like no activity for 30 days, and then bulk engage some of those leads in a playbook. And for the most part, that will allow you to track everything. And after all of that, of course, if you're talking to somebody and they're interested or they sign up, it's good to hop in here and just be on top of things, update them to, not ready yet, to customer, etc., and just take care of some of that hygiene. But that's essentially it. That's how I recommend building out or tracking a sales process. It's really simple, really clear. And again, if you need a more complicated tool, go for it. But with more complex tools becomes more complexity in the sales process. I recommend keeping it simple, focusing on following up, having those conversations, and really closing deals. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to my team or myself on LinkedIn. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.